Your compass will function properly with a fixed source in the center. If you add this static, all right, this is our South Pole. Let's have a constant South Pole now. Look, it's not working. It's not working because we have two fields acting on it at the same time. Get rid of our South Pole that doesn't exist and has no evidence. Weird. Now our compass functions properly. Let's add the constant force of a South Pole that doesn't exist. Compass does not work. Take away the South Pole that doesn't exist. Compass works fine. Add the South Pole. Compass doesn't work. Take the South Pole away. Compass works fine. There is no South Pole.
And this guy was talking about emergency landings. He was saying that one time this Asian lady was coming from Asia, I think Taiwan or somewhere, flying to LAX, and she was pregnant, but she was lying about how far along she was. So she got on the plane anyway, and then she started giving birth on the plane. So they had to make an emergency landing from Asia to Alaska. And if you pay attention to where Alaska is on the globe, that is not an emergency landing. And then his roommate was like, what's going on? He said, man, I can't figure out how this is emergency landing when they're coming from Asia going to LA, and they stopped in Alaska all the way over here. Like, why? How is that an emergency? Why did they stop there? Then he said, oh, that makes perfect sense on a flat earth map. Then he pulled up a scientific, real flat earth map from 1800. The guy was like, what is flat earth map? He said, the United Nations logo. They use it. They throwing it in our face. The map that we use is wrong. It's different. They changed it. This is the actual map, and you can look up in the encyclopedias. You can go and check one out. The library. It's a map that was. It says like it's proven. It's a map, and it's scientifically proven. It's a fact that these are the maps that they use. It's a flat Earth map, and you have to fly over Alaska to get to LA. So
from Asia.
Yeah, but Alaska is right by. It's right by us. It's not far up. It's by LA. It's not west. Far. It's not more north than what we think. So like we've been lied to. So that is an emergency landing. Then I started looking to other emergency landings, and I started looking to like layovers and stuff like that. And a lot of stuff didn't make sense. Why they would fly all the way up here to change, then like the flat Earth map is totally different. Then once you kind of look into the flat Earth map, and then and when you fly across the world, and like the layouts and what the stops and stuff, then it kind of make sense. The flat Earth, and that's what took me over the edge, was the emergency landings thing.
Do you want to know why when you flip a globe over, it says not for educational use, but decorative purposes only? It's because not only would you never get to where you're going, but if you did, you would add miles upon miles upon miles on your trip. I want you to look at the CBS American School of Air map used in 1943 for flight school. And I want you to look at this. Here is a scale. People always say, where's your flat Earth map with a scale? Well, here it is. Not only does it have a scale, but it has this funny looking white border with all this outlined mapped terrain. What could that be? What could that be, I wonder? Not that continent at the bottom of the globe, something else that surrounds it. Now I want you to look at this map, and I want you to look at New York, and I want you to look at the path you would take from New York to Moscow. Okay, let's take a closer look. New York to Moscow, how's that gonna look on this map? Let's draw a line right straight across, and notice how it's going to cut through Greenland. Now let's look at what the flight path they show us actually looks like. So when you pull up the actual flight path, this is what it looks like. They make it so it arcs up to Greenland and then down to Moscow. And notice the distance is actually shorter on their curved line compared to this one. If you were to just go straight from New York to Moscow, why would that be longer? Think about that. Again, on the flat Earth map, that's an actual map that flight schools used to use. Right through Greenland, and I want to show you why their straight line is actually a longer distance. because this is what their straight line actually is on a real map. The map pilots use, the flat earth map. It adds distance, but you go curve away from it to come back versus going straight across. Now I just want to give you another example of how their curved flight paths from LA to Japan, why would we do that? I'll show you. Because on the flat earth map, LA to Japan is actually an exactly straight line. You just fly across, and I want you to notice, where do they cut through? Alaska, and just on the edge of Russia here. Let's go back and look. Look again. LA, through Alaska, just to the tip, across Russia, and down to Japan. Now is it making sense? This is on there because it has to be. Otherwise, everyone would be getting lost. Everyone.
The compass is king who reigns over all arbiters of truth which measure reality and conclude the objective facts within. A compass derives all geometric outcomes, any plane curve of trajectory or closed curve from 2 points. The compass makes a complete pass around the fixed point. It is determining your position and angle in combination with the sextant and square when drafting, aka cartography, and creating a map, all based on the stars and a single point in the center. Time, location, this should actually be held this way, so that's the true way for this map. This map that is to scale, because if it wasn't to scale, the time chart wouldn't work. The time chart works, which means it's to scale. Weird, what a strange coincidence. That's why our system for navigating is called polar plane coordination. There is a fixed source in the center. Navigation is not possible whatsoever any other way. This is a magnetic compass. It makes a complete pass around a fixed magnet. The compass is the only objective, constant truth in existence. A compass derives all geometric outcomes, any plane curve of trajectory and closed curve from 2 points. It computes your position, angle of symmetric shapes. The polar plane coordinate system exists because of a fixed center point Polaris, a sextant, and a compass. Your longitude and latitudes are measured by those instruments. There are 24 hours in a day. There are 24 segments to the polar coordinate system. Weird, what a strange coincidence. Each one of these segments is 15 degrees. The stars revolve around Polaris 15 degrees per hour. 24 15-degree segments equals 360 degrees. That's one circle, which consists of 21,600 minutes and 1,296,000 seconds. Navigation is based on this time created by nature's clock. Nature's clock swings east to west just like a normal clock. It turns clockwise. That's why we have right-hand rule in Cartesian coordinates. Spherical coordination is not possible until you convert the polar plane coordinates from the fixed point in the center. Every line of longitude is a perfect north-south. There is no other way to navigate or use a compass. The heading indicator inside of an airplane, which is a gyroscopic compass, is not equivalent to a magnetic compass, the arbiter of truth. It is not an arbitration of truth. It is subjective. There are magnets used on the compass. What happens when you put magnets on a compass? It's no longer a compass. That information is manipulated. It's not constant like a magnetic needle compass. The true north for a pilot is the 180-degree mark on the polar plane coordinate system. It's the only way that navigation works. That's why there are 24 segments of 15 degrees that are divided up into minutes and seconds determined by your sextant and your compass. Every longitude is a perfect north-south. No matter where you are on this map, north is up. So that means no matter where you are on this map, which means no matter where you are on this map, which means we know it functions and it has proper scale because this works. And this is based on the stars, which this is based on. It all goes together. There's no other way about it. The only constant of true Earth reality is light. The only constant objective fact made by man is the red half needle of a compass.
Well, it's really, really simple. For thousands and thousands of years, all the ancients used a sundial to tell the time. Okay? Now you have to remember this. They even taught you this in school, that the sundial was used to tell time. Now, if we use a spinning ball, and the sun, it doesn't work. But I'm going to show you how this works. Check this out. It's really, really simple. Okay, hold on just a second. Okay, we're going to use this pencil right in the center of the Earth at the North Pole as our sundial. And I'm going to show you that why this says time calculator. Now, let's say this is the sun, and remember the sun revolves around the Earth clockwise. So here's our shadow from the sundial in the center of the Earth. Now, as the sun makes its rotation, watch what the sundial does. What's it do? It tells the time. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. As the sun makes its circuit, that's how the sundial works. You see where I'm coming from? Now when it's dark over on that side of the Earth, it's light over here. You see, the sun has to make that circuit to make that sundial work. It's really, really, really simple, guys. Really simple. That's the only way it can work. The sundial does not work on a spinning ball. So if it doesn't work on a spinning ball, then that should tell you that the Earth's flat. Either the Earth is not flat, and for 5,000 years people were telling time the wrong way. And I don't think that that's very possible at all. Thanks for watching, guys.
So here's the problem I have. You see this sphere? Now it involves non-Euclidean geometry. In order to navigate on a sphere, you need to know non-Euclidean geometry. And here's the problem. Here's the problem I'm having. That was not invented until like the mid to late 1800s, guys. Mid to late 1800s, we did not know how to navigate on a sphere. A bunch of mathematicians had to get together, you know, and they had to try to prove Euclid wrong. In fact, it was denying Euclidean geometry is what brought spherical geometry in the first place. That's actually the definition of it. So, you know, all these mathematicians came together and they're like, you know, let's figure something out here, dude. Let's just get rid of Euclid's fifth postulate, the parallel postulate, and they came up with this spherical geometry. It's kind of cool, nothing wrong with it, except it doesn't work. We don't live on a sphere. Actually, non-Euclidean geometry only works on a perfect sphere. Formulas such as the Haber sign and as such. So here's my question. You know, non-Euclidean geometry was not invented until the mid to late 1800s. It wasn't even put to use until the 1900s-ish. It's where you get your great circles, all these navigations. This can't be a projection. Even the Mercator's map can't be a projection because we didn't have the geometry to do that yet. Oh boy, it's a projection. All these maps are projections. We didn't have non-Euclidean geometry yet. We didn't know how to do all that stuff, guys. So answer me that. I mean, if it wasn't invented, how the hell did people navigate for thousands of years on a two-dimensional surface? This was after the longitude problem was solved. They didn't even come up with non-Euclidean until the longitude problem was solved. The longitude problem was solved way back, way before that. And people used the sun. They used time, the sun, Greenwich, England. You know, where I am in Michigan here, GMT 5. That's my zone, GMT 5. So keep that in mind. Non-Euclidean geometry was not invented until that time, mid to late 1800s, not even put to use until the 1900s. Pretty stupid, if you ask me, to think you live on a globe. Love ya.
One of my friends sent me a series of videos that had this and this, and they're like, why is it not in the Bible? And I was like, it's in my Bible. Over in the book of Genesis, right at the beginning, bam! This is the pocket edition of the Catholic study Bible that I was given for confirmation class 30 years ago. This is in here for historical information so that we know how the ancient Hebrews viewed the world, because they talk often about the firmament and the floodgates being opened in the book of Genesis.
Genesis 1, verse 6. Then God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Thus God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. So the evening and the morning were the second day. Now, let's look at this over here. Genesis 1:14. Then God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens, not in outer space, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and seasons. Our calendar, go figure, and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the earth. And it was so. Then God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day. He didn't say he made one light that gave its light to the other. No. Two lights. The greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. God set them in the firmament of the heavens to give light on earth, not in outer space, and to rule over the day and over the night, and divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. So the evening and the morning were the fourth day. So what's your take on that? Does it say anywhere there to lead you to believe that we're a spinning rocket ball in outer space? Or does it say that the firmament is heaven and it divides the waters from the waters? So that would mean what's beyond the firmament is water, not an empty vacuum, okay? And if the firmament is heaven, you can't get through it with the rocket ship. Sorry, folks, park's closed.
How long have you been a pilot for? 43 years. Wow. What shape is the planet? Flat. We're supposed to keep it a secret.
It seems like they're just telling jokes, but have you seen this? This is an actual flight manual. You can find this PDF online, and when you take a closer look, it's got some strange things in it. Look at this. Flat Earth. Yeah, flat Earth, non-rotating Earth.
And without further ado, stupid!